Hi, I'm Vedhu and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about body image and size inclusivity. I don't have like the official stat on this, but literally like 90% of the girls I know struggle with body image and they just don't like the way that their bodies look. I think this goes back to way back when we were kids and like the unrealistic body standards that we saw on TV with the 90s models being like sickly, skinny, and clearly looked like they all had eating disorders. But that was the image that we constantly saw as like the embodiment of beauty. And we all just really wanted to look like that. We wanted to look sick and skinny and like we hadn't eaten for like 500 days. And we were just like smoking cigarettes all the time. Like that was the it girl look, which was just so problematic. I honestly remember looking at magazines or like watching FTV, which we were banned from watching FTV when we were kids, but like you're trying to be sneaky and then you like turn to FTV and you're like watching it and all of the models are like, and you can't help but feel like, wow, that's how I want to look. But I remember things were like kind of different when it came to Bollywood movies. I think the Bollywood actors back in the day were a bit more like normal size. They were like healthier. At least from what I remember, I feel like, they didn't look starved. But I remember watching Bollywood movies and thinking, oh my God, like they're so fat. And now when I watch the same movies with like Kareena Kapoor or whoever it may be from that time, like Madhuri Dixit and all of that, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe that I thought that they were fat. I think I grew up with a lot of unhealthy messaging around body and image. Like most of the elders in my family, like the aunties and stuff, were always like complaining about their bodies. They wanted to be on a diet. And it was a lot of like portion control and don't eat this, don't eat that. They were quite concerned about it. And also there was a general like appreciation of like the skinny body. Like if they saw someone that was really lean and, small and thin, then they got complimented a lot. They would always be like, wow, she's so beautiful. So then you kind of like registered in your mind that that's what beautiful means. I was never a skinny kid. I was very healthy. I was like normal sized, but I would like always look at like the really skinny kids, like the naturally skinny kids in school and be like, wow, they're so lucky. And I think it also made me feel very shy and like hold myself back from playing sports or running or doing any physical activity because I just felt like I'm not the ideal body type and it's like embarrassing for me to do anything. Because if you remember back in the day in the movies, like if there was someone who was chubbier or who was like on the heavier side, then they were always like the butt of jokes. Everyone was making fun of them. Even in that movie, Kal Ho Na Ho, I think, Preeti Zinta had this best friend who was like supposed to be like the fat girl that is basically just made fun of throughout the movie and like just non-stop body shaming jokes on her. There were so many movies that would like body shame people as a joke, like they thought that it was funny. So growing up, I was quite like a healthy girl and especially during like the 9th, 10th, like board exam time and all. I started eating so much KFC, like a new KFC opened near my house. And in that exam stress and all, you just want to eat, you just want to eat a lot of like oily, greasy food. So I would order KFC a lot and I gained a lot of weight. Like I'd become like chonky. Like I wouldn't say I was fat still. I thought I was fat in my head. Like I thought I was really, really fat. But like now when I think about it and I look at my pictures, I was just like a regular chubby girl. But I was like moving to a new school for 11th and 12th and I felt so like embarrassed about the way that I looked. I felt so embarrassed about my body. I was like, I'm not cool and I'm just not like nobody's gonna want to be my friend because I'm just this chubby girl, which I don't know how these two things even add up. But somehow in my head, I was like, people are going to only want to be friends with me if I look a certain way. Also because I think all the cool girls in all of the movies, like, I mean, all of the main characters in every film were really like slim, beautiful white women, There was never anyone that looked different when you watched on TV. And like, if anyone looked different, then they were the dork or they were the geek or they were the loser. And you didn't want to be that girl. So I think around that time I got very concerned and that's when I had like an unhealthy obsession with my body. and skip a lot of meals. I lost, I think, about 10 kgs in a month, which is a lot of weight to lose, especially when you're not like super overweight. So it was not good. Like it was not good for me. And I didn't look healthy. Like I didn't look good. I looked very sick. I looked ill. People were very concerned. They would always come up to me and be like, "Are you okay? Have you not been eating?" Like my friends were concerned. Everyone was just like worried for me. And they were like, why is this girl doing this to herself? But I felt like I looked better. Like I felt like, I'd rather look sick than look fat. Like that was my mentality. Can you believe it? I feel like a lot of people think that way, like I'd rather look a little sick and like unwell than look chubby or fat, which is like so sad. And I'm not saying that like we need to be unhealthy and we need to like eat lots of crap and just be okay with it. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like our bodies are always like changing and evolving and our weight is always fluctuating, right? Like now that I'm reaching my 30s, like they say that your body goes through a second puberty where your body is preparing to give birth. And so you gain a little bit more weight around your hips, around your stomach, and like all of these things happen. Your body is like growing up and like you're becoming a woman. So it's very natural that you like gain some weight. And it's very, very hard. It's something that's extremely hard for all of us to deal with. When you gain weight, you're already like really feeling bad about like not fitting into your clothes. You're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're not feeling that good. It takes you a lot of courage to actually like get dressed and like leave your house. That itself is a struggle. But now when you go to the event, there's like people being like, oh, you've gained weight and like, look at you, what have you been eating? And nobody needs that. Like, like just shut up and like mind your own business. Like, why do you have to say something? You don't know what mental health issues they're going through. You don't know what physical health issues they might be going through. You have no information about this person. It really takes a toll on a lot of people, and like you have no idea what someone is feeling on the inside. So even if you don't understand, try to be a bit empathetic and just ask them how they're doing, ask them if they're okay. If you have something nice to say it. But otherwise, you don't need to be saying anything. They don't need to hear it from you. If there's somebody that really loves them and sees that they have extremely bad eating habits or their lifestyle is an issue, which is what is making them gain weight, they will tell them. I think if you're a parent or if you're a partner of someone who's like gaining a lot of weight and it's a lifestyle issue and they're eating a lot of outside food, they're eating a lot of junk, they're not taking care of themselves at all, I think there's a gentle and sensitive way to bring that up and to ask them like why they're doing that. So if someone is really depressed or sad, they can be sort of numbing themselves by eating a lot of food. So that could be like a deeper conversation for someone who's close enough to them and who can bring it up lovingly and ask them what's going on. Ask them if they would like you to go with them to the doctor to like do a full body checkup to see if they have any issues with thyroid, PCOS. Maybe those are reasons why they are gaining a lot of weight, and like what can they do to like combat these issues to take care of themselves better. So there are so many reasons why our body might be changing, why we might be gaining a lot of weight. And sometimes with certain health conditions or like just growing up, you're not going to look like you look like a teenager again. I think this is where fashion comes in and can play a huge factor in the way that we feel about ourselves and our bodies. If we do explore different styles and see what we feel really good in, it makes a huge difference because once you wear something that really complements your body and complements the way that you look, then you just immediately like feel better. You light up and you feel very good. And I feel like it is important for us to have good silhouettes for different body types. And that is a huge gap that we see in the fashion market. Although there are so many different brands who are like luxury, inclusive, and all of that, they say all of this. But I feel like the space hasn't been explored enough, or like those options aren't very easily available to the customer, because the truth is I am very close to like a standard size and I can usually just buy a small or a medium depending upon like the fit. A lot of times I don't even have to try an outfit. I can like online shop blindly and it'll sort of like fit me somehow. But I hear a lot of people I meet who are not a standard size, who find it extremely difficult to find styles that complement them or like know what kind of different outfits they can wear. Like in like when magazines and social media show us like what's trending, a lot of these styles are made for like a really small body type. They're usually very like deep necks and like sheer or like like the cuts that people with big busts can't wear. There are so many different body types, right? Like there's people with like really big boobs with very tiny waists. There's people who have really small boobs but like big stomach, round hips but smaller upper body, broader shoulders and smaller lower body, very skinny legs. I feel like when people are designing clothes, they're not thinking of all of these different types of people. They're just looking at like a proportional figure that's like the same size on top and the same size on the bottom. And even in stores where like they do say that they provide different sizes, that is from an XS to a 5XL or whatever it is, you later find out that they are just like proportionally sizing up that garment, and it looks really good when it's on a small size model, but as it's sized up it starts looking really unshapely and bad, and it's not really fitting. Always pigeons having sex near my window. So like once that garment is made like a 5XL or whatever, it's not even looking the same as the original outfit. It's really just looking like a completely different outfit, only in the same print. Like if a garment is designed, then care should be taken that that same garment should be designed for like every body type. And I obviously don't know the math behind it or like, how people are going to profit doing this. But I think it's such an important gap in the market. I'm really happy for how far we've come though with it, like from back in the day, not being able to see anyone who's even mid-sized to coming to this point where social media allows us to see so many different body types, like so many different girls enjoying fashion. And that is very refreshing to see, but I still think the problem isn't fully solved, and these conversations have to be had repeatedly for us to reach any point. We're very far from the notion that like every body type is beautiful. People keep saying that repeatedly, but I don't think it feels like the truth. I know there's this whole concept of body neutral and like not feeling like your body needs to be beautiful, which is also true, but it is still fun to like dress up and to just have a good time with clothes. The one option that we do have in India is getting your clothes custom made. The concept of going to like a tailor and getting your clothes made is quite common in India. We've known it for many years, but the problem is that like most of the people that go to get their clothes made are people who get like Indian blouses stitched or like kurtas and stuff like that, and they don't get anything very Western and contemporary made. So at least where I live, it's quite difficult to find a tailor that is okay with making something that's, a strap and like quite low neck. They feel quite scandalized and they're really like, no, we can't make it like that. And it's not going to look the way that you want it to look. Ever since I've been wanting to make my own clothes, I've been looking at different tailors and trying to find someone who's going to stitch my clothes well. But it always seems to be a hit or miss. Like maybe I've got a few outfits made that are good, but so much of my fabric has gone for waste. Like sometimes it looks good, but it's so uncomfortable. Like it just rides up your crotch or it rides up your underarm and you can't sit properly, which is why I finally have decided to dedicate time to like learn how to sew myself, because I can just imagine all of like the designs and patterns that I can make. And if I just like commit myself to like a few months or maybe a year of like learning the craft, like learning pattern making and cutting and sewing, then I can literally make my own wardrobe, which would be so cool. I'm so excited by the idea, but I think I struggle with like finding the patience to actually commit to learning the process. But this time I just really want to do it. I'm going to give myself like 1 hour to practice every day and hopefully I get good. One of my dreams is also to like stitch clothes for my friends and my family, like the people that find it hard to find the clothes that they want in this store. Like if they have an idea in mind, it would be so fulfilling for me to actually be able to make that garment for them. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm the kind of person who feels like I need to be amazing at whatever I start as soon as I start it. Otherwise, I get very discouraged. But this time, I just really want to be patient with myself and like allow myself to be bad and make a lot of mistakes and learn from it. Wish me luck. I really, really, really want to do this. But yeah, I think that is my solution for building a wardrobe filled with things that I love and cherish that fit me really well and that are sustainable, and also to help my friends do the same. Let me know if you have struggled with body image and also finding size inclusive clothing in the fashion market. I would love for this to be an open conversation where all of us girls feel seen, heard, and hopefully come up with a solution eventually for this problem. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you'd like to watch more content from me, then like, share and subscribe, and you can also follow me on Instagram.